What's going on, YouTube? Back for another video, and I wanted to make this video for the longest time in regard to the current climate of sports journalism, especially now with all these hot take shows, with First Take being the trailblazer for all this bullshit. And I gotta say, the real, honest, and sincere journalists that used to be around in the sports world, they're not around no more, okay? They've been replaced by these hot take, hot topic, over-the-top, pompous journalists on TV, okay? We see them every day. You see them every day on TV, you know, and to me, overall, sports journalism is dead. It's dead, and it's been dead for a while. Okay. Listen. Way back, I've been watching sports overall since the late '80s. Okay. Now I don't go as far back as Howard Cosell and all those guys, and Dick Schaap and all that stuff. But I remember when the ESPN first came on the air, right? And then you had honest, sincere journalists like Mike Lupica, Bill Rhoden, Mitch Albom with the Free Press, among others. Who else? Among others. They kept it honest. They kept it sincere. They didn't have no biasness. They called everything for what it is. They didn't have no agenda with certain things, with a certain topic. And journalism in sports. Journalism in sports back then was pretty fair. Pretty fair. It was accurate. It was accurate when you think about it. So then I say about we're really surprised. I'm watching something on TV real quick. Sorry if I was off, but getting back to the topic, around the say about right up into the late '90s. Now I don't count people like Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser and all those guys because they were the bridge to all this. So I really don't count them. But I say about the late '80s and early '90s. Well, no, let me scratch that. What am I thinking about? About towards the end of the '90s and into 2000s, you started to see a shift in sports journalism, where you had these pompous-ass journalists thinking they know everything, thinking they could just fly off at the mouth and disrespect. This is when people like Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith's big mouth ass, and people like Jay Mariotti, among others, started to come of prominence. And then, as the 2000s came in, you started to see them more. People like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, you started to see more and more. They started to be at the forefront, especially with the uptake of social media and all the journalists from the old era, such as Mike Lupica, Bill Rhoden, and all those guys, Mitch Albom, among others, man. Mike Francesca's of the New York Daily News. Those type of guys started to, get pushed into the background because they didn't rely on hot takes. They didn't rely on spur of the moment asinine comments, and you started to see a turn. And then by the mid 2000s, you started to see Cold Pizza / First Take, and then you had imbeciles like Skip Bayless come to the forefront making up all these narratives and stories, and people within the industry started to run with it. And then after them, you had assholes like Doug Gottlieb, coon-ass Jason Whitlock, and retarded ass Rob Parker come to the forefront by the end of the mid-late 2000s. And this is the people that replaced all the prominent fair journalists. And then you had all these assholes giving up hot takes, making up narratives about certain players, and having their own biasness. And you started to see Skip Bayless cashed in on the LeBron James hate. The LeBron James hate really started with him. Now, I mean, certain players in the league, they were envious of him anyway, but really, Skip Bayless was the one that started to object to LeBron James. And then you had certain people started to follow suit. Then it was Stephen A. Smith. Then it was Rob Parker. After him, Doug Gottlieb, Jason Whitlock, so on and so forth. And coincidentally, it's no surprise that all of these dudes at one point or another worked together. So you can basically make the argument that they're the ones that made up this narrative, And former players started to jump on this bandwagon too. Started to bash certain players, especially being Charles Barkley, making up his bullshit. Shaq being bitter, Shaq being real upset, because I guess he feel like he didn't accomplish enough in his area and he wasn't dedicated enough to his career. He didn't take his basketball career enough seriously, like post 2000 when he won his first championship with the Lakers. And then you got all these former players thinking they could throw shade at everybody. Even the former players in the 90s who were covering the game were more fair than the former players that cover the game today, But then you had assholes like Skip Bayless putting out this narrative that LeBron is this bum-ass player. And you got certain people on YouTube, like goddamn Ticket TV, who's a fake and wannabe Skip Bayless, making up shit as they go along. He took this whole thing from Skip Bayless. Ticket TV's punk ass. And you got certain other YouTube channels that have done the same. So by the late 2000s, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, they were the faces of this new way of journalism. New, dishonest, fake, lying way of journalism. And a whole lot of so-called journalists, this is the new norm now. And I feel like it's full of shit. And I feel like sensible honest journalism, sports journalism, died years ago. And it's like, this is what we stuck with now. Goddamn people making up shit. Goddamn people lying, so-called journalists lying because they got their own agendas. They got their own narratives they want to push because they want, their fans like we are now. You didn't have that back then. People were even ground. They were straightforward. They didn't lie. They didn't make up no narrative. They were straightforward. They called it like how they see it. Now, you got fanboys in the media, okay? Now, you got your Nick Wrights, who are LeBron James fanboys too, but there are not that really many fans. There are not really many LeBron fans in the media. Of course, you got Skip Bayless, who's always rooting for LeBron to fail. Number one, Stephen A. Smith, he has something against LeBron because he still feels a certain type of way because he called him out for his bullshit years ago. Him and Chris Paul, and now he makes up any type of thing to kind of make LeBron look bad. You know what I mean? Kind of make LeBron look bad. You know what I'm saying? Now he's a KD fan. Now he's secretly rooting for the Brooklyn. He's a Brooklyn Nets fan now. Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is another one of these dudes who don't really know anything about nothing. And it's just overall, man, it's a garbage ass climate. A garbage ass climate right now in sports and journalism. You know what I mean? So, end of the day, this is why I'm here. You know what I mean? To debunk a whole lot of the bullshit that's going on in the media. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people say people are fans, people defend LeBron in the media. I don't see it. I don't see it. I do not see it. You got former players that are like criticize LeBron, even if he does win. Then you got, like I said, you got the aforementioned names that if LeBron says something, accomplishes something, they'll find a way to downplay it. You never heard that. You never heard that in the media. You never heard that in sports. You never heard that in media or sports. Way back when. You understand? It was fair and honest journalism. Fair and honest, straight up journalism, man. And but because people like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Snitch were put at the forefront, this is what we have now. You know what I mean? And that's why people don't take journalism seriously no more, sports journalism seriously no more, because it's all about hot takes. It's all about narratives, and it's not about honesty and goddamn what's going on. I'm willing to bet half of these guys don't even watch the games. Half of these guys don't even watch the games, okay? They just go by what they know, go by what they see. They just pick and choose what they want to watch. They pick and choose what they want to watch. Even Stephen A. Smith's punk ass even admitted he don't watch some of the games. Some of the journalists have admitted they don't watch the game. They just go by hearsay. So, like I said, man, all these hot take shows, First Take, Undisputed, goddamn, First Things First, it's on and on, man. I don't watch it, man. Like, what do you call it? Speak for yourself. I don't watch it, man, because a lot of those guys have an agenda and they're biased this and they run with a narrative. They run with a narrative, you know? So yeah, man, that's why I don't take sports journalism in the media seriously no more, man. Because it's a narrative to discredit certain type of players, and it's a narrative because they got their own biases. So I can't take them seriously no more, and they're all pieces of shit. And I doubt for as long as we're living in the social media age that we'll get back to that sensibility and honesty in sports journalism.